Thank you for coming back to my channel for another video with GGTV. I'm excited that you're here. I have something just very quick to share with you today. But before I share that, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all the things so that more people can hear the messages that are spoken on this channel, and so that more people can share in this journey of grace and guidance and wisdom with us. But yeah, and also just because I really appreciate you doing that. So thank you. Okay, so me and my husband were doing devotion this morning. Pause. Me and my husband were doing devotion this morning. I decided to do like a Bible generator to pick which chapter and book we would read today. And it landed on Job chapter 16. And if you know anything about Job, I think all of us have had what many of us call a Job experience in our life before. And when we mention having a Job experience, it's just this really like to say that your life, you've experienced trauma, you've experienced tragedy, you've experienced heartache, you've experienced pain, you've experienced something that is unimaginable and just like confusing, can't understand why the heck this happened the way it did. That's Job experience, okay? Job experience kind of also brings this point to say that whatever this horrible thing is, this uncomfortable thing has been brought upon you, and you don't feel that it's deserved. It's like an undeserved warfare, an undeserved trial and tribulation, an undeserved heartache is really what that means with the Job experience. I've experienced Job-like things. I'm sure you have. All of us who are just living life as adults, we've experienced some heartache that sometimes just doesn't make sense. And so today we read Job chapter 16. And Job chapter 16 is Job's reply to his friends who he thought were going to support him, be by his side, you know, be kind of caring and loving while he's literally dealing with the grief of all his kids, livestock going, you know, dying and all those things, houses burning down, boils and sickness and all the stuff that's going wrong. You would expect that the people who were closest to you would support you, right? But they hadn't been. They basically were saying, this is your fault, Job. You brought this on yourself. And this is Job's response. And I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but it's just a couple things from our devotion this morning that I did want to point out because I feel like it will encourage you in the same way that it's encouraged me. So here is, goodness. Actually, okay, I'm going to read verses 1 through 5, and then we'll see where God takes us. Okay, I'm reading in the ESV. Then Job answered and said, I have heard many such things. Miserable comforters are you all. Shall windy words have an end? Or what provokes you that you answer? I also could speak as you do. If you were in my place, I could join words together against you and shake my head at you. I could strengthen you with my mouth, and the solace of my lips would assuage your pain. So Job is basically saying, like, the things y'all have said are not helping at all. I could do you the same way you're doing me when you go through hard times. But again, that wouldn't help your pain and that wouldn't help me at all. And here's verse 7. I'm going to skip 6. Here's verse 7. Surely now God has worn me out. He has made desolate all my company. So Job is saying, like, I am so tired. I am beat down. I'm worn out. I'm overwhelmed. I am heartbroken. And I have no company, no friends, no support, no one around me to even help me at this time because God has basically turned them against me and got rid of them, is how he feels. And here is verses 12 through 17, okay? And this will all make sense in a second. Just stick with me just a little bit. 12 through 17. I was at ease and he broke me apart. He seized me by the neck and dashed me to pieces. He set me up as his target. His archers surround me. He slashes open my kidneys and does not spare. He pours out my gall on the ground. He breaks me with breach upon breach, and he runs upon me like a warrior. He's talking about God. He's talking about God running up on him. Okay. I have sewed sackcloth upon my skin and have laid my strength in the dust. My face is red with weeping, and on my eyelids is deep darkness. Although there is no violence in my hands, and my prayer is pure. Let me tell you why I felt like I should share this. So Job is so distraught. He's so heartbroken. And I mean, this is really despair like actual despair. We think that sometimes we feel heavy, and I'm not knocking that because we do, but this is the strongest description of depression, of despair, of hopelessness. One of the strongest that you'll probably find throughout the Bible. Right? Job and David, their despair and their descriptions are like neck and neck. Job says that he feels like the Lord has told his archers in heaven to like take aim at him, like he's a target. He feels like he's been targeted. And I know that people listening to this video right now, that you can understand what it feels like to be targeted by the enemy's attacks. That you feel like anything that could go wrong has gone wrong. And it seems like God has championed this wrong against me, right? This just feels like this was planned. This was a setup. This was an attack. This was calculated. And the Lord is standing by, letting it happen, is what that can feel like sometimes. And Job then goes on to say that he has sewn sackcloth into his skin. Sackcloth and ashes is what they would put on to symbolize that they were in mourning. Like when people would die or bad things would happen, or to the people, to their family, to the lineage, whatever it was, they would put on sackcloth and ashes. They would tear their clothes, dump ashes on themselves to symbolize that they are grieving and mourning. For Job to then go on and say that he has sewn these things into his skin is to say that he can't see his circumstances changing. He can't see his life getting better, because if he could see that, he would just be wearing it like a coat that he can easily take off. But he's sewing it into his skin to say, this is my life. Not only am I experiencing grief, he's saying I am grief. I am hopeless. I am despair. I am depression. I am all these heavy things. Like, this is not leaving me. I'm just going to be this and walk around and be this dark cloud for the rest of my life. That's the imagery that Job is painting here. And on top of that, he's got friends who are looking at his situation and his circumstances, and they are judging his relationship with God and judging how much the Lord loves him based on what they see him going through. And that's just kind of crazy that they are seeing warfare as this sign that the Lord doesn't love you anymore, or that the Lord has left you or walked away from you. And that is never the case. Why? Because the Bible tells us that he would never leave us and he would never forsake us. And yet here are his friends basically treating him as if, because you're going through something difficult, clearly you messed up. Because you're having a hard time, clearly God doesn't love you anymore. But that is just not true. And so if you feel like you're going through a hard time right now, or that there's a bunch of warfare and spiritual attacks, just heaviness, darkness, whatever it is that you feel like is following you right now, please hear me out when I say that it does not mean God is not with you. It does not mean that you are not loved. And it does not mean that the Lord is punishing you. This was not a punishment. God was not punishing Job. But what does identify your relationship with God is how you respond to your circumstances. The circumstances don't tell you how much God loves you. The circumstances don't tell you how deep your relationship is with God. Your response to them will show people how deep you really are in with the Lord. And so remember to respond well. Remember to take these things to the Lord. All the despair, all the hopelessness, all the trauma, all the pain of whatever it is you could be going through, take those things to the Lord and allow him to heal you, to restore you, to make it make sense, to refresh you, all of those things. Do not believe the lies that the enemy would tell you that you're not loved, because that's just not true. Don't call yourself grief. Don't take up an identity based on your circumstances. You are not job loss. You are not divorce. You are not, losing your kids. You are not losing a relationship. You are not any of these difficult things that have happened to you. You are a child of God. The Lord loves you. He's with you, and he calls you by name. He knows you. He is not setting you up for failure. He's not setting you up for attacks. He will use these attacks for his glory. And just like Job got more than what he lost, the Lord will restore and he will repay. You've just got to hold on. You've just got to trust him. You've just got to believe that his word is true and that he will not fail you. It may feel like he's forgotten about you, but it is not true. He will never forget you. He is with you always. That's the promise that he's given us. And so trust in his promise. We are in this together. Let's walk out this journey that is not always easy, but it is always worth it. And so let's continue to grow in grace and let's continue to grow in wisdom together.